Welcome again to another podcast. I was only on yesterday. I'm back again. It's been such a busy couple of weeks and a load going on at the club at the moment. So nice to actually just to step back from all the serious stuff and have a bit of a crack tonight because I've got my two Wednesday night mates with me tonight. I think it's becoming a bit of a regular thing, this, isn't it, Gaz?
Yeah. Look, it's great.
Yeah, you enjoyed it. Gary Kelly, my old mate from years ago who used to go to the Blues with.
Yeah.
So Gary's with us, and the bloke that's playing with his ball, Pete.
What up, mate? Got to get him one side, mate.
He's got his cricket ball with him because he likes to take away the stress of talking to me for an hour or more.
Or throw it at the screen, one of the two, yeah.
I think you two have got a load of stuff that you want to crack on about tonight. God knows where this is going to go, but I've got some sort of idea it's going to be a little bit interesting. But before that, we've got a match tonight, haven't we? So I just want to quickly get your thoughts on tonight's game. Pete, what do you reckon?
Our record at Blackburn is absolutely shite, isn't it, really, to be honest? So I'd be happy with a draw. Bite your hand off at a 1-1. Something to build on, isn't it, from Saturday? I think the team will be a bit different today. Blackburn's a funny old team, though. They're a typical championship side, aren't they? Got a bloke who's the top goal scorer that I haven't even heard of.
Do you know what? You know something about him, right? He's been kicking around for a while. He's 27, he is.
Right. Has he just signed up this year for them?
I think he's been there. But, they've got rid of, what's his name,
Jack, is it? And
then they got another one with double barrel name. They've got some weird name players there, but they're all really good. But this guy's come through and he scored 11 goals in 15 starts. 27-year-old.
Yeah, let's hope it's 11 in 16 after tonight.
Yeah. What do you reckon, guys?
Nailed on 1-1, I reckon.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that. Could we sneak it? Don't know. We might be getting ahead of ourselves. I'd be happy with a 1-1. We could nick it. I don't know.
I sort of always think we're going to win, I do. So I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1. But I've got a sneaky feeling that Sunich will be back in the middle of the park. And I also think that he might sacrifice Mayoshi or Dembele to get JJ in to make it a bit more defensive. Just to give us that little bit more a bottle in midfield. And I know people don't like Burke playing, or I see a lot of people criticising him, but I think a lot of people don't really see what he does because, he's a big bloke, he's strong and he's powerful. If you take Burke out of that team, we've got no height at all up front.
No.
Nothing.
No. I'll have to tell you something, Steve. So at the game Saturday, I'd had to borrow my mate's season ticket. Well, he kindly let me. And it's in the really posh seats in the Cop. There, they're not cheap. But anyway, so sitting behind me, it was like a group from the last of the summer wine. It's like, Compo, Clegg and Foggy and whatever. And they come here and they non-stop bloody moan. And I don't know if you noticed, sort of like Burke come up I thought he pulled his hamstring or something very early on, this was. And the one bloke saying, "Oh, great, yeah, get him off," and everything. I'm going to, the way you just want to turn round and say something. And my little lad says, "They're not our seats. You'll get your mate in trouble if you start." So, okay, calm down. And to be perfectly honest, I was more interested in what was going to happen, if anything, because I still didn't know at this time whether something was going to happen in the 21st minute. So the first bit of it, the first bit of the game really passed me by, apart from the, Compo, Clegg and Foggy flipping moaning at every single thing. But to actually turn around and say to one of you, "Oh, great, get him off, It's
frustrating, isn't it? And he does play a part because apart from anything else, just his size and his presence takes defenders away. And he is really strong. I know he doesn't finish well and all that business, but he's a pain in the arse to have around, And he takes attention off Stansfield, doesn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, for what he has, what we're asking him to do, he does. He does a job, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But you're right about Saturday, Pete, because I was the same. I hardly noticed the game until after the applause because I was still getting myself off the ceiling from seeing the names on the board. It was surreal, wasn't it? It was like I was saying to Gaz, like they never told us I was going to do it. It just did it more or less, like
It was the fact that like the Sheffield Wednesday fans got up, fair play to them. But like the whole ground and I ain't gonna lie, I was flipping absolutely choked up about it. But
I was nearly crying, honestly, when I see it. I was talking to Julie, I was talking to Julie. I said to her, you know what, I'm nearly crying here. She said, I am crying, I said, but honestly, I was like choked. I thought, Christ almighty, it meant a lot, didn't it?
Well, it's the little things that mean a lot. I mean, that's what I kept saying to my two wives, but they wouldn't believe it.
So all right, well, we'll move on from that, I think. So your two wives, Pete, I gather that you got both of them from a tractor's place.
Oh, Fox and Grapes. It's amazing what you could pick up in there, mate. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's quite a simple chat-up technique in there. All you had to do is pretend you was listening to what they were saying.
or pretend to be sober.
oh no, I'd never. That's going too far, isn't it?
That was one of the first pubs I ever went into and got stopped back. I must have been about 17, like in town, and it was like I don't know, like my mate Sean Justice used to go in there, so I was like, what's the other guy's name? A couple of them come down, and like we can get a drink after hours here, like, and we went in, like what a place, what a great pub. There's a lot of them pubs though, isn't there,
Well, it was a talking pub, you know what I mean? The same three records that always come on the jukebox, or three Paddy songs coming on and whatever. But yeah, you had to either talk or listen in there, and it's a dying art, waffling.
Yeah. I don't know, we do all right.
Yeah. Well, that's the Fox and Grapes for you, and it taught us well.
Yeah, but there's a lot of pubs around Digbeth like that, I mean, I used to spend a lot of time in the Wharf, and the Wharf had some absolutely crazy staybacks on there, and the White Swan down there. Do you know Stevie Chance? He had the Head and Chickens before it was Baines's.
Right.
Big lad, he had a market store.
Right.
Chance, yeah, you know him, Gaz, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. The name rings a bell. Like, Jimmy Wise as well. Another. Do you remember Jimmy?
Yeah.
He had a place in the Bullring, and I went to school with Jimmy actually.
Yeah, they're all characters, and all them pubs tend to have a lot of characters in them, didn't they?
All proper market boys. They were market boys, and that was what it was. I mean, there was trouble in town, and the market turned out. You knew it was serious because they'd all come out like. Yeah. There was all blues. There was all blues in the market, in the wholesale market. And
yeah. And I remember because, like I had the barrel organ, as you know, and but I also had the town crier.
Yeah.
And the town crier was a colourful place. Christ almighty,
and the Market Cross behind it, that was a market pub, wasn't it?
I had the town crier when I had the barrel organ at the same time, and the West End bar, if you remember, Gaz.
I remember the West End bar. It used to be the filibuster.
The West End bar. Oh yes, I remember that, mate.
Yeah, we had the West End. I was like me and Steve Jones owned the barrel organ and the West End bar together. So West End bar was good, and we took that over. It was the old filibuster, wasn't it?
Filibuster, yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and we used to have the twins DJing in and Laurie, and it was
great times. They were great times.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. But Gaz, you've got a bit of memorabilia there, haven't you? Or something you was telling me earlier.
Yeah. I've got a couple of bits and pieces. This is I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, it's a rosette.
It's a rosette. It's a rosette that I bought outside Hillsborough when we played Fulham in the FA Cup.
Oh my God!
And like, well, the writing smudge there. That was my tears.
Was there a silver? Oh, there is still a silver FA Cup on it. I can see it.
Let's get an FA Cup on it. Yeah. I was convinced we were going to win the cup. I was convinced of it. Like, you know.
I think everyone
was in the ground for that game.
Well, I was in the big open end, like the big main open end at the back, which is now covered. Like.
Yeah. I'd gone past my
and I remember it because it was the Grand National Day as well, and they flashed up that Red Rum had won for the first time, I think, or the second time, I don't know. And it was just, and just Joe Gallagher saved us, didn't he? But what happened the following Tuesday was, well, something we'll never forget. I will never forget anyway.
Anyway, moving on quickly.
In other words, shut up.
Well, no, I'd actually had a transistor radio bought for me, like for my birthday, and I listened to the replay in the kitchen, and that transistor was no more. After that night, when was it Mitchell? Was it scored in the God knows?
Yeah, Mitchell. Yeah. Swine.
Yeah.
Go on then, Pete. You're busting to get out. You get it out. Come on.
Right. So, Sunday League football. Right.
Yeah.
Now, did you two actually play Sunday League? Or what was your abilities or whatever as a Sunday or as a footballer? Full stop.
Ability. How about you go first, Gaz?
Ability. Well, between January 1970 and June 1972, we emigrated to Australia, a family, like, you know, we were £10, last of the £10 Poms.
Right, yeah.
So, I was already playing football before we left then. I was, 1970, I was 10. When we came back in 72, I'd just been picked to represent Brisbane, in the intercities, all around Australia, like, you know.
What position did you play?
I was centre forward.
You know.
Yeah, I was centre forward.
Who did you model yourself on?
At the time, Tony Aitley.
All right, we'll let you off with that. He was a bit of a pudding by the time he come to us, wasn't he?
How about you, Steve?
Yeah, I played. I was in my school teams all the way through, and then I played like Sunday League and Saturday League games. I played South Birmingham Division 3, 5. I played a lot of the Sunday League stuff, you know, Sunday mornings. Yeah, I was all right. I used to play up front as well, actually, but, you know, I'm not as big as Gaz. You're big, aren't you, Gaz? You're about 6 foot, yeah?
I'm still just about 6'1.5" now. I'm starting to shrink.
Oh, yeah, you're tall.
Which leads me on to something really. I'll do this right now. This is my first season ticket.
Oh, I remember them being like that as well.
It's my first season ticket, like with you have to pull them out, and they wouldn't tell you the number of the game, which meant you had to take your season ticket with you to pull the thing out. So
yeah, because the game number was on the side, wasn't it? I remember.
Well, that there says 1976 to 1977.
Yeah,
brilliant. That is.
That was £9, but it was for a junior.
How old was you at the time? 25.
No, well, 76. I'm
16.
16 in the September. I bought this season ticket from my milk round and the butcher's job that I had prior to September. So I was 15. So I could have a junior season ticket.
It's amazing that you got that, because I'll never keep anything I don't.
On the back there, it's actually signed by the club secretary, because the amount of games.
Who is it, Alan Inston?
I can't read it. It's main office, Birmingham City. AR. Well, I don't know. Can't work it out. It's a scribble. But I'll put it on Facebook so we'll probably get a better picture.
Send a photo of it to us.
Yeah.
I've got one exactly the same.
The amount of time they had to wait till half time to get in because they didn't believe that I was a junior.
Yeah.
I had to wait until they opened the gates at half time, which they always did, and everyone went. And if they couldn't afford to go, or they just stayed in the pub,
Yeah.
So I had to get it signed in the end by the secretary to say that at the time I bought this season, I was 15. Yeah. Because I was pushing 6 foot.
Yeah.
I was quite a big lad, really.
And you got yours, Pete, as well. You got it with you.
That was the first one I had.
Mine was the same as that.
Yeah.
So go on then. Sunday league.
Right.
So I used to play regularly Saturday and Sunday morning. I used to love my Sunday morning football. I took it seriously as well. I did.
Oh, you were one of them, was you?
Well, I didn't. Like, I used to go pissed a lot of the time, but I really, really look forward to it. I look forward to playing. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, ours was a bit of a different journey, really, because
was your Minstrel Wanderers?
Yes. So sorry about stickering your pub, yeah.
I want a word with you.
Come on, bloody hell, they were everywhere. Do you know Tony Roberts, Pete?
I know everybody, yeah.
Tony Roberts?
Yes.
Grey haired, long time blues man. In the lower cop, he normally is.
Yes, yeah.
I think he was a minstrel one of the minstrel ones.
There's so many that because it became bigger than a football club, to be honest.
It was massive.
But I just have to tell you my little story then. So I was at primary school, played football at primary school and whatever. And you ain't going to believe this, but I actually passed me 11 plus.
I believe it.
Yeah, well, apart from with all them counting of the bulbs in the floodlights and whatever, and obviously helping me maths, and but yeah, actually got through me 11 plus. So I went to a grammar school. I went to Bourneville Grammar School, and the first they didn't play football. They were rugby. Everything was rugby. Now, have you ever played rugby?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never excited me really.
Man, they were obsessed with the bloody game. So the first PE lesson, they line you all up, and they say, like tallest to the shortest. Right, the first sort of like 8 tallists, you're going to play as the forwards. Anyone who was fat, they got shoved in the forward bit as well, sort of thing. And all the little ones were left to play as the backs. So I've ended up as one of these forwards, right? So then they said, right, we're going to go through the basics, sort of like, right, forwards, you have to learn how to scrummage. Right, what's all this about? So they put a fat boy in the front. Then there's 2 blokes have to put their arms round this fat bloke at the front. Then the next line, which happened to be me, I have to shove my head between flipping 2 people's bottoms. And the way you have to bind a scrum is you have to hold the fat person's flipping inside of his shorts. Absolute, what the hell is going on there? And you
it is famous for public schools, mate.
Yeah.
I can see why, mate, because then not only am I able to deal with having my head between 2 people's bottoms and grabbing hold of somebody's inside groin, somebody then comes and shoves his head right by my bum, mate. So then, if that's not bad enough, then there's another team who are lined up exactly the same, and they're pushing in, and then they say, right, we'll put the ball in, and then you've got to get a shove on. Well, the best way to get a shove on is to grab hold of the flipping fat bloke's balls, you see, because we got nowhere to go then apart from screw and he's mate, like, but honestly the smell, because there's nowhere for the smell to escape in a scrum. There's all these horrible sweaty flipping heads all the way down, and then absolute gross.
It was great. I loved it. I loved playing rugby. I did. I really enjoyed it at school. I really did. But I went to a comprehensive, and our sports games teachers were mad rugby fans. Like, you know, they got the short straw and go. But they used to pitch us against, like, you know, King Edward's Five Ways, or, you know, and all the posh boys' schools. We used to kick the shit out of them.
Yeah,
honestly, because we didn't understand the game, we didn't know the rules, and just as you were saying there, Pete, they say, right, you need to be here, like, you have to do this and do that. And we were just like, you know, knuckle draggers off a council estate, and we just used to kick the shit out of them. It was great fun.
That's where great. Cal went to King Edward's, didn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I remember. I was looking through some photos. I've got a picture of Cal. I'll put that up one day.
Yes, so I didn't play football until, like, after left school and whatever. It's just, I hadn't played football for ages, apart from the 50-a-side kickabout in the playground. That was it. And then it was going down to Edgbaston. Met a couple of lads in it. You know the way as lads you sort of like take flies round shit. You levitate to like-minded people, and that's what happened. We sort of like just got chatting down at the Warwick game and says, "Oh, should we try and form a football team?" Like, yeah, all right then. What we're going to call ourselves? You know, we'll come up with some stupid names like Real Madrid. That was going to be the first name we was going to call ourselves. And then
good name, though.
Yeah, and then the second one we're going to call ourselves is Borussia Get Your Sunday Mercury. but that one that would have been a bit hard to fit on a shirt. So
the best one I ever read was PSV Hangover. I thought that was a great name.
Yeah, brilliant. And so we ended up as Minstrel Wanderers, because remember the pub, the Wandering Minstrel?
Yeah.
Opposite the road by the horse train. Yeah. Yeah, so we thought, oh well, yeah, that's a good name, sort of thing. We'll call ourselves Minstrel Wanderers. So we applied to join a league, and they put us in the Coronation League, which is pretty reasonable standard, but they shoved us straight into Division 2. But I never forget the first game we actually played. We went 1-0 up in about 5 minutes. Oh, a piece of piss, this is, sort of thing. Then they equalised and we went 2-1 up. And then the rest is history. We lost 10-2. But the problem is we're playing football on a Sunday. Is your pub hours were 12 till 2. Now your game kicked off at 10:30. You had to finish at 12. And then it was just the mad rush to get to the pub to get your 2 hours there. So all our team sort of like you ended up levitating to the side of the pitch so you could get off quick to get straight into the pub. There was no getting changed, sort of thing. Like, you know, you just literally run to the pub in your football kit. So you get your 2 hours worth in. But them opening times, though, I think it has a lot to do with why people of our era drink at a certain pace.
Definitely. Because when it changed, I mean, I don't think kids now perhaps are the same, you know, but if you remember, Sundays 12 till 2, you know, 10:30 in the morning till 2:30, I think, and then 5:30 till 10:30. all that. I mean, that was crap when it, you know, it really was. When you look back to it, you know, how did we ever survive, you know? Honestly, it was terrible. But I mean, by the time, I mean, going back to the Sunday morning, I played in South Birmingham. I think it was Division 5 Sunday morning. You know what it's like. There's teams of all sorts, and we had some interesting teams in our team. We had, do you know, Borsalith Labour? We had them in our division. They were really good, like, you know, they were dead serious and they were dead fucking, like, you know, you got to watch yourself with them. They were blokes, you know what I mean? And they took it serious. But we turned up. Oh, what's the worst pitch you played on a Sunday morning?
Oh, crikey. Those ones up at Sally Park. Row Heath, they were just mud baths, like the Row Heath.
How about you, Pete?
Terrible place.
Whitton Lakes all day long. One of these sort of like sloping pitch jobbies. But it worked to our advantage in a way, because what we do, sort of thing, is you just get the ball and boot it as far as you could down the hill. So just to waste a bit of time.
So if you're losing.
Well, this was from kickoff. The first thing you do is get the ball, and also they have to get another ball on. As soon as you got the chance, boot it as far as you can. But yeah, that Whitton Lakes, what a horrible place that was. But anyhow, like with Minstrel Wanderers, we started to get a reputation because we were that crap. People started to sort of like follow us, shall we say. We actually won relegation outright. There was only 5 divisions. They pretty Division 2. Within 3 years, we was in the bottom league sort of thing. You win it 3 times in a row, it's yours, isn't it? But there's a yeah, you know, if you get booked, it cost you £5 if you got booked. Yeah. Now that was sort of like, that was 10 points. That was. So, you know, you had to be a bit careful, because that was your Sunday dinner time session if you got booked, wasn't it?
Yeah. Them were the days, though, you know, because them Sunday mornings, you've seen all sorts, didn't you? I mean, when you weren't so bad if you played in the afternoons, but Sunday mornings were like, because you'd be still half done from the Saturday night. And we went once, a mate of mine, Rob Beddington, used to play in the same side, the same team as me, and his mate, Ken, was, they're actually Villa fans, Rob and Ken, but he was big mates with Gary Sprake. And Ken was a good drinker, like, you know, and I think we'd all been out on the piss on the Saturday night, and I went with Rob to the game in the morning. So Rob picked me up, and he got Gary Sprake and his dad in the back, still fucking 3/4 cut from the night before. So we went to Sennerly's Park. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Fucking, there's about 100 pitches, and they're like that, you know. And there we are, walking up to Sennerly's Park, like pissed, with Gary Sprake. Turned up, like, the other team looked, they were like, fucking hell, like, they got Gary Sprake in goal. Fucking Sprake was standing there looking for somewhere to have a piss, you know. We was all dying, but it's them sort of memories, and it was great, you know. Sprake actually stayed and watched it, you know. Fucking embarrassing, he must have thought, what the, mind you, he weren't too good himself at that point, was he, when he was playing for us?
Did you see any bad injuries and whatever?
Oh, I've seen some horrible ones.
Oh, yeah.
I seen a kid with his foot behind his head, flat on the floor like that, as if, you know, back there, like his leg was round the wrong way round.
Yeah. But one of our lot bust his leg, and it's like hearing a branch fall off a tree. You know what I mean? It's just you hear that crap. Yeah. But the worst thing was that you can't move him then. And it's eating into your flipping pub time, isn't it? You know, what do you do? Do you abandon the game, or what do you do? The ref didn't want to abandon the game. Had to wait until proper medical people
come in, comes or something,
and drag him off the pitch. Flipping missed about half hour's worth of flipping drinking because he'd gone and broke his leg.
Yeah, out of order, man.
Yeah, well, I came up with a cunning plan. I mean, like, as of what I was a centre half. I was, right now. You know these.
I'd like to see you marking Gary. Actually, that would have been a laugh.
Yeah, that oil tanker that got stuck in the Suez Canal, right?
Well, the Evergreen.
Yeah, well, that could turn faster than me. That could, I tell you. I could only face one way, and they always used to say they used to say I'd got a club foot. Well, because the club was actually like a 9-iron, because every time I kicked the ball, it'd go right high up in the air, but it wouldn't go bloody far. And if on a windy day, it'd end up coming back over my head. But I thought, well, the only way I could think about stopping in the team, believe it or not, as shit as we were building up a bit of a squad. Everybody wanted to play for Minstrel. We're getting this reputation about, being nutcases and whatever. So I thought, well, the best thing I can do is I'll volunteer my mum to wash the kit. I mean, you can't drop the lad who's flipping taking the kit home, can you? So I turned up with all this shitty flipping clothing, and my mum, bless her, sort of thing. She went above and beyond. She used to iron the shirts and get everything all nice, and you put it in the changing room on a Sunday morning, and it's like a flipping free for all in it. Like they're all rushing for your things. But bless them. But we had this one lad playing for us. He'd spend all his money on beer and blues. That was his big thing. He wouldn't buy himself a decent pair of football boots. So every time he'd put the hole in the sock with these bloody boots. And of course, our mum, bless her, she flipping used to darn them as well. But
it ain't good having darn socks when you play football, is it?
But it ended up these boots were that bad that we used to have to tape them up with gaffer tape. I mean, it was part of our medical box. Now, the Minstrel Wanderers medical box. I'm not kidding you now. We had this medical box, and in it we had a bottle of Lucasade, we had a can of Ralgex, we had a packet of Lockets, and we had the gaffer tape. That was it.
What's the Lockets for?
We didn't have a water bucket. We had a watering can. So the last thing you wanted to do was roll around injured because someone would come and start flipping, pouring you with water, and then the water. Well, it weren't water. Let's put it that way. It'd get poured out of here. Oh man! But I mean, this minstrel thing, it started to get that big. We formed a cricket team at the back of it called ourselves Minstrel Taverners. We were crap at that as well, and we formed a darts team. And we started up by I can't remember the pub. It was by the old accident hospital there. It was the Davenport's pub.
Yeah,
Greyhound.
The Greyhound. It was the Greyhound, I think.
Not the cider house. It was a bit more upmarket than that.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. But then we only lasted a year there, and then we ended up in the Golden Eagle. And you know the Golden Eagle?
Yeah, I've seen some great bands there.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. So we were in the Five Ways.
Was the gaffer there then? Was it?
Oh God!
He went up to Broad Street after.
There was the one had because all the bikers used to go in there, or like the cycle tramp, didn't they? You used to use that. But you'd be playing these. The Hen and Chickens was the best team in the Five Ways darts league. They used to have all the best. The one up Moseley.
Yeah.
They're Moseley Road or whatever. They win everything. But what a great crack the darts was. So you'd go everywhere. When you'd have a home match, you'd have flipping people trying to concentrate, and you got the ace of spades blasting out from the other. They're just about to throw, and the ace of spades going on. That was brilliant. And so we had these badges made, and like the Blue Peter badges. sort of thing.
Yeah.
So if you're representing Minstrel, you got a badge. But if you played for all three, you got a gold badge. But you'd only get the gold badge if you scored an own goal at football, were out for duck at cricket, and you got brushed at darts. So it almost like encouraged you.
To be shit.
Not that we needed much encouragement. But it just grew and grew and grew. But yeah, I always kept my place because my mum always washed the kit. But then I got an injury. I'll never forget. It was the week leading up to Live Aid. We'd gone in the, the Odd Fellas Arms. She's on.
Yeah, I love the Odd Fellas. Odd Fellas is great. Just over the road from the town crier, wasn't it?
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, in there quite a lot when I had the town crier.
I mean, it's so bloody small. But I mean, we decided to have our pre-season piss up there simply because of the name. It just sort of like fitted the Minstrel Wanderers thing because you're all odd fellows.
Yeah.
So it'd gone in there. As I'm left, of course, it's a one-way system with the cars. Well, it was back then. Barford Street, I think it was called.
Yeah, Barford Street, yeah.
There's two of us, me and my mates, come walking out, and a car's come and ploughed into the pair of us. He'd done both of my knees in, broke my collarbone. He was lucky that he went out. Well, lucky he went over the bonnet, but it was a hit and run. So the next thing you know, is a sort of like wake up in the accident hospital there. Where's me fucking jeans? Because what they've done is they've flipping cut them to be able to see what damage is this. I've lost a bloody pair of. I was more upset about losing this pair of jeans and any injuries they'd got. But then I was in a pretty bad way, really. I was in debt. But it was on the Saturday. It was flipping Live Aid. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was something else. That was But there was only the one telly, and there's me. I'm in absolute flipping agony, and all the nurses all crowded round. I got one of them sat on my bed, and I got both flipping knees in plaster and sort of whatever. They're all getting up and bouncing around and dancing to rocking all over the world. There's absolutely poleaxed. But my mates come and visited me as well on the Sunday. After they'd played football, so after they'd had a training session, because this was July, and they come in, and the first thing they said to me, said, "Would your mum still be all right to wash the kit?"
I like that though. That's fair play, that is, mate, isn't it? It is.
Get your priorities right.
We used to take ours home.
And then the police come to see us, sort of things. To say, right, says he was involved in a hit and run accident. Says, could you give us the vehicle registration? Oh look, here's a car coming to play towards me. Hang on a minute, I'll just get this registered. On it, you couldn't make it up. But what happened was then is because they didn't bother flipping tracing this. I mean, they don't even bother tracing people who flipping plant bombs in your pubs, do you? Yeah. That's another story. I actually got 10 grand out of it because you could criminal injuries. So because I'd got bashed up quite bad, sort of thing, I was thinking, oh well, I wish I would have got a bit more bashed up, sort of thing. I got 10 grand out of it. Yeah. So happy days, drinks.
That was a lot of money then as well, wasn't it?
Have a look at that.
What's that, Gaz? Oh, man. Did you go with me to that?
Yeah.
Did we go in my car and it broke down?
Broke down, yeah.
Ah. I'll tell you what, Pete.
How about that?
Yeah, we went to. I had this BMW 630, didn't I? So I was living in All Green, and me, you, and Cal, wasn't it?
And There's someone else as well. Someone else.
Oh, I know it was.
Got a mobile phone.
It was Ben, wasn't it?
Who?
Didn't Ben come with me? No, he's too young.
No. He went with his.
Yeah, that's it, Anthony.
Yeah. There was who was the black guy that he got a mobile phone that he got us out the shit. Actually, I can't remember his name.
Not Tony. Tony. It was Tony, wasn't it? Who did the door for us?
Yeah. That's that. Of course, it was. Yes.
Yeah. So Pete, we went to Wembley for the Tranmere game, and it was a time, I don't know if you remember, Pete, when they took all the council buses. Do you remember?
Yeah.
All like the number 31, and that was going down the motorway. And we went in this car of mine, like, and I think we had a bit of a mare with the car a few times, didn't we? I remember breaking down outside my house. Did the radiator go? We pissed in the radiator.
Yeah. That was another time though. That was. Was you with me at Luton when we broke down there and nearly got ourselves killed?
Yeah. But anyway, so we got to the M6 services, didn't we? Stopped. I don't know which one it was. Watford Gap, I think. And we stopped and we got in the car. It wouldn't fucking start, would it? I can't remember exactly how it broke down, but it would. So we had to get to Wembley. But all the buses were there, weren't they? I can't even remember how I got there. You got on a bus, didn't you?
No. What we did in the end, we got someone to give us a lift into Northampton.
Oh, that's right, yeah. And we got a taxi.
We got a taxi, a black cab to Wembley from Northampton.
From Northampton to Wembley, you know. But then when we was watching the game, it was a great game and everything, blah, blah, blah. And then we're thinking, fuck, we got to get back now. I can't even remember how I got back.
We all got back together. Well, you, me, Ben, was in his guardian's car, if you like.
Anthony, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Give us a lift back up to the boat.
Right, Pete, this is right. My ex-Mrs.'s new fella brought us back from Wembley. I was thinking, come on, you're all right, mate. You're a good lad, like, you know. And we won the cup, haven't we? Give a shit, you know what I mean? We won the cup. We won the cup. That was the main thing, son. We won the cup. You can have me, missus. But it was a good day. Have you ever had any car nightmares, Pete, on your travels?
Not to tell you the truth, only the one. And that was just because the bloke was too tight to put flipping money in for petrol.
Oh, you're saying he only put a quid in or something?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're 70 miles from home. You're flipping. Everyone's done the money, and he thinks he's going to get home. If he's been putting he's fucking run out of petrol. You know what I mean? You need to put some money in, and put a pound in. Thankfully, somebody flipping bailed him out, but no, I've been quite lucky, really. I suppose with car journeys.
We've had a few mares, like you were saying about Luton, and we've broken down here and there, and things happen, you know. But things always happen on away days, don't they? And they're good. I mean, the people that go on coaches now, they're pretty well protected, isn't they? It's like, you know, come out the game, get pissed on the way there on the coach, watch the game, get back on the coach, get pissed and go home. You know, it's good.
Do you remember when we was at Derby? The old Derby. It weren't the
old one.
It was the
slanting roof
baseball ground, weren't it?
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the score was, but we were in these like real narrow sort of terraced house streets, like going back to the car.
Yeah, that's it.
And we were surrounded by Derby, and it was their hardcore.
Yeah,
and we knew it was good. So we sort of like tried to sort of slide in the car, and from nowhere, I don't know, about 40 or 50 Zulus appeared and kicked the crap out of them. Like,
it's funny because I was talking to
Tom. He was like trying to wind the windows up. Kicking off all
and everybody's trying to think like, you know, fucking hell, like, you know, let's pretend we're Derby fans and you think, fuck, how are they talking Derby? Yeah, all right, mate. Get the shit kicked out of you anyway, like, you know. But it's funny because I was talking to like Tony Routley, who does the coaches this morning, who was saying the same things. Like, there's plenty of times when Zulus have come to the aids of people, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw something that was it? Yeah, I'm sure it was you. It was going like, "How scared have you been at an away game?" or something like that. Actually, the most scared I've ever been was at the Blues, and it was the 1975 centenary when we played Celtic.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
Fucking hell. I have never known carnage like that ever.
That's mental. But I tell you what, it was the same when Villa played Rangers, you know, and
Rangers
were in town.
shortly after.
Fucking hell, like, you know.
Yeah.
They're not
but half of them Rangers were Blues, like us as a
closest. Yeah. It's true,
but my God, they destroyed Birmingham. They did. I've never been so scared in my life. They were everywhere.
I'm talking for a minute because I've got to get the team, and it's going to be out in a few minutes. Just carry on. I'm just going to be checking this for the next few minutes.
Yeah, were you there, Pete? Did you go to that centenary game?
The Celtic one, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
I've got the tickets somewhere. I've been trying to dig out some stuff, like, you know, I've got the tickets. It was terrifying. I was terrified. I was 15. You know, I was terrified. I was
going to say, I was 15, so I weren't going in pubs. But I mean, the walk up to the ground, it's like Digby. It's just absolutely rammed with Celtic all the way up to the
everywhere.
Up to the got in the ground, and all they were all in the Tilton, weren't they? The Celtic. Well, apart from a few who come in the cup and got kicked out, shall we say? But yeah, it was a bit hairy, to say the least. Yeah.
Every single one of them was pissed up. I don't think there was a sober jock there, like, you know.
Yeah, but I think that's just normal, though. I think if you,
but they absolutely didn't give a flying toss, like, you know. And we won that game 1-0, and as soon as we scored,
do you remember who
scored, it just really, really kicked off.
Do you remember who saved the penalty from Kenny Dalglish?
Tell me.
Here's your quiz question.
Go on.
Steve Smith. Do you remember him? Yeah, I think he only played about 3 games for us.
I don't remember him. I'll tell you, last week I thought of a keeper then when you was talking about Seaman and when he went. Do you remember Kevin Dearden?
Yeah.
He signed at the same time, and he was quite a good keeper, Dearden was. He came at the same time as Seaman, didn't he? I don't remember Steve Smith, to be honest.
No, I can't say that. I can't.
No, but he played and actually saved a penalty. Peter With scored for us.
Was it Peter With, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What a night that was.
Peter With.
I got split up from all my mates, and when I actually got home, one of my mates was in the kitchen when my mum was like cleaning his face up before he went home, because he'd had the absolute shit kicked out of him, like, you know, and we were just 15-year-old kids, really. All right, I know I was a big lad, but she was cleaning like, he can't go home like that. His mum will kill him. Like, his face
you get beat up twice in the same day.
You know, it's funny. You're going on about sort of like with the jocks and getting pissed up, whatever. Because our Minstrel Wanderers, we had a football tour to Scotland. Right, surprise, surprise. No wonder why we picked going up there. So we'd gone up there, but there was no one to play football against. We'd gone up there. Supposed to have met this bloke in this boozer in Glasgow, sort of thing, who was going to tell us where we had to be on the. No mobile phones that were called in them days. You know what I mean? Everything was done either writing or house phones. And so we got up there, and the bloke hadn't turned up. He was going to tell us where to play. Oh, okay, fair enough. Make the most of it. When in Rome or whatever, or when in Glasgow, you just go on the piss, don't you? So the next day, looking for a game to go to. So Morton were playing Forfar. Now, a lot of us had picked up on Forfar because their nickname, we don't even know, it's called the Loons.
Oh,
right. Yeah, which was so, oh, well, yes, it's a perfect storm, this. We'll go to watch Morton versus Forfar, a bunch of loons shouting for the Loons. But I got flipping nicked. They brought this, I know, they brought this bloody ruling in Scotland that it was an offence to be drunk trying to enter a sports arena.
So, in Scotland.
Yeah. I know. So there's me.
Come all the way Berlin.
All the way up from Birmingham. You know, you're not exactly going to make the Vipping Zulu Hall of Fame, am I? There you are, getting to Greenock Morton versus Forfar Athletic. Okay, now. Yeah. So the flipping, they locked us up till flipping must have been about 10:30 on the Saturday. I mean, luckily the coach weren't going home till the Sunday, otherwise it would have been flipping stuffed. Flipping Forfar, Greenock Morton versus Forfar, drunk entering the sports arena.
Teams like coming out.
Wow. Yeah.
So, we joined up with Minstrel. The first ever game we won, I think it was in the third year we were actually playing. We managed to beat our first ever victory. We beat this team called 8-1. And the team were called Gotham City. Another good, decent. Yeah. And they're sort of like, they tried to befriend us. They were a sober version of Minstrel. And sort of like palled up. We went on a post-season tour with them. We went to Amsterdam to teach the Dutch how to play total football. And, yeah, absolutely unbelievable. The Hague, Den Haag or something. It was the Hague. But of course, you enjoy yourself.
Do you want to know the side?
Yeah, go on then.
So they list it differently now, don't they? So we've got Ruddy, Buchanan, Sanderson, Drama, and Ayu. James is playing like we thought he might do. Sonny Chisholm. We've got Bielik, James, Bakuna, Drama, Stansfield. Who am I missing? So I was wrong about what Ollie Burke is playing. He's not playing. So we've got Laird's not playing.
I was going to say Laird's missing, isn't he?
Laird's on the bench. So we've got Drama at right back and the other two. That's just a bit more defensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bielik and James, Dembele, Stansfield, Duke.
Oh, well, okay.
I thought they're playing him instead of what's it, ain't they? Instead of
Burke.
Ollie Burke, yeah. So Burke's
it sounds to me like they're going to try and put it over the top then.
Yeah, they'll play the press, but they've still got the big lad in there. We'll see what happens.
So is Miyoshi on the bench then?
I thought Miyoshi might get dropped tonight. You can't read it because it's so fucking small. Yeah,
you're getting old, Steve.
I know, yeah. So, all right. Yeah, Miyoshi's on the bench, yeah. So that'll be an interesting one tonight. That team's a little bit on the defensive side, but you'd expect
it sounds it. But I like the idea of like Juki starting from because he is a presence though. You know, he can't.
The only thing with is you're not going to get 90 minutes out of him, that. So there's going to be a change on an hour for definite. But so what?
I'll tell you what.
I don't know if that sounds promising to me.
It'll be interesting watching this tomorrow and then thinking, how naive you were thinking that when we just fucking got beat 6-0 or something. So that sounds like a good team. Look back on it. What the fuck was I thinking?
Well, you build on your last result, don't you? And it's like, go for a 1-1 draw tonight. I'd be happy with that. Personally.
Yeah, two games unbeaten.
Yeah.
Definitely. So what's this Gotham Shield? I know you're dying to tell us, Pete. Come on.
No, no, no. What we used to do that one would put the picture up that's in tractors there. Yeah. So so we'd sort of like say become pals. I mean, they like I say, they were just a poor man's minstrel that didn't have hold a candle to us. Like, I mean, I don't know if you'd ever walked in one of your pubs. You know, we used to do like. There must have been about sort of like 20 because we used to have groupies follow us around. Straight up, this is sort of thing. Big name in town, Minstrel Wanderers. But none of us are getting around with each other. We'd all buy our points individually. It was like a flipping, you'd walk in. By the time the 20th person had ordered the beer, the first one's finished theirs anyway. Like, so it's going on. But we used to have these things called these ugly competitions. So it's sort of like you'd all line up and you go and ask the girls sort of like to vote with which is the person you would least like to shag. Well, so but
it's a nice quality of girl then, like, you know.
But there was some right ugly fuckers amongst us. Like it was kudos to win this. It's the same as with our Player of the Year thing. The actual Minstrel Wanderers Player of the Year used to get this tiny little trophy. The one who won Worst Player of the Year got this great big thing, like, you know, because it was harder to win the worst player because there was that much choice. The same as these ugly competitions.
Reverse psychology.
Flipping hard work to win, they were, mate. I tell you, won a few now and again. Like,
listen, mate, no one's surprised.
No, but so with this Gotham, we thought, well, we'll give them an all day thing. We'll play football in the morning, cricket in the afternoon, darts at night. Winner gets this. So the football games are always a bit tight. The cricket, we'd always win the cricket, and it came down to the darts. But by this time, you've been on the pitch all day. I mean, when you're waiting for sort of like people who don't normally play darts to finish, and each game is sort of like lasting. It's a good job Tractor had flipping stopovers.
Yeah.
The games used to go on for hours. Like, have you two ever played darts or bothered playing darts much?
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, you used to try and keep it to 301 rather than 501 because they used to last forever.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's amazing playing in darts leagues and whatever. You can play amongst your mates, and some people, they're the best player amongst you. You put them in front of a pub, and their arse goes. Yeah.
But we had the town crier there. You never want them to play darts or pool because it always ended up with some bloodshed. Because it was always like they used to play killer at pool, and it'd be like fucking. By the time someone would have to fucking kill someone at the end, literally, like because there'd be so many arguments about it. And then they'd play like round the clock at darts and that sort of thing. It was like every time it started, you think, oh fucking hell, like
here we go.
Because like Saturday was the worst day because by like 11:30, everyone in the pub was pissed in the morning. I've been in there, and it sounds horrible. Like, do you know the town crier, Pete?
I do, absolutely, yeah.
So you go in the front door there, and the bar's on the right, and the lounge is straight ahead, isn't it?
Yes,
so I've come in one Saturday lunchtime. I've been down the barrel org and thought I'd better go up and have a look at the zoo, like see what's happening up there. So I've gone through the front door, looked in, fucking couple of pissed up people, someone playing pool, and there's a bloke lying on a bench. One of the bench seats, and I'm looking at him, and suddenly all piss starts dripping from he just pissed himself. Like it was 11:30 in the morning. I was like, fucking hell, what am I even doing in this fucking pub? Like,
is that the one that was in Ockley? Is that the one that's
Portsmouth? The one in Ockley was the Bull's Head when I had that. That used to stay open all night, didn't it?
Yeah,
we got done in the end there. Like, and I was pulling off. This is the truth, Pete, right? It was a Saturday night. And Saturday night, I used to get my mum to make a buffet, right? some of these people didn't even fucking eat, like, you know, and I'd take a buffet down on a Saturday night, put it in. So I went down one Saturday, took the buffet in, and Joe Estridge was on the door.
Yeah.
And we took the buffet in, fucking put it all down. Of course, Saturday was packed because all the people had come in. Fucking hell, like, you know, you get sandwiches down there, and my mum had put like a bit of like fucking cheap salmon paste on it or something. Oh, that's lovely, that is, you know, and all that sort of shit. So we take the buffet down earlier, let the bar staff sort it out, and we go out on the piss. And the one day, in fact, you know what? I think it was a Sunday, it was a bank holiday Monday, and we was a bit late getting back to the Bull's Head. So it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Fucking better go back to the Bull, see how it's going, like. And we pulled up just as the old Bill pulled up. And we sat outside and watched the pub get busted. I was watching Joe Estridge have a fight with the police on the door, and we were just fucking sitting there watching outside. Like, I said to her, fucking hell, we came back at just the right time. If we'd gone in 5 minutes earlier, we'd have been in the shit, like, you know. But it was
that was a rare old place, that was. Yeah. I enjoyed it there. I went there a few times too.
Yeah. I had the Vine as well, Pete, you know, in Aston.
Oh, yeah, I remember you having that.
It was fucking brilliant as well, because I had it the last day Villa had the Old End open. And it was fucking great because he took so much money off him. I bought myself a little Jeep on the Villa. I don't know if you remember that, guys. Do you remember that little ginger fucking Suzuki Jeep?
Yeah.
The Villa bought me that. It's the last day with the Old End was open.
My everlasting memory was of that place was George Lovehunter.
Oh my God, George Lovehunter. we had this bloke, you know.
Name like that.
Every pub's got one, like, you know. And them lads down there, I'm not just gospel. Do you remember they had the kangaroo and he boxed the kangaroo?
Yeah.
George in the yard at the back. You know, I'm not seriously, mate. But he was all right, Bab. All right, Bab. He was like a little funny little bloke. And we took him to do you know Dave Travis, Pete?
Yes, yeah.
Do you know Dave?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, he's a good mate of mine, Dave. And he was putting this gig on in town, so I can't remember where it was. And he said, we'll get George up and we'll get him. So George used to do an impression of himself, like, you know, he's fucking brilliant. He's absolutely shit, like, you know. And so we get George up, and in between the acts that Dave was putting on, we put George in the middle of it, like, you know, and he'd do a little stint himself. So, of course, we're going up there. Fuck, how's George going to get up there, like, you know? So we just fucking threw him in the boot. But the funny thing was, David had all these masks done of George's face. So we all went in there. Oh, fucking hell, what a night. It was great value for money, George, wasn't it? Fucking fantastic. You know, every pub needs one like that, you know. But it was a fucking rough pub, the Vine was, to be fair, you know.
Did you used to have a Domino's team in the town crier?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because like we used to do our football training at Calthorpe Park.
Just up the road.
Yeah. Well, you'd play football a bit. I mean, the only lighting that you get up there was the flipping red lights from Cheddar Road.
Yeah.
For a bit.
But the town crier, though, actually, to be fair, was a good put. I mean, we took it off. What's his name? The road from UB40. What's his fucking name? His sister had it, Carol, and well, it was his really. We took it off them, so we used to have all the UB lads coming in. But I knew Brian from school, Brian Travis.
Yeah,
his soul, like, you know. But so we used to have a good crack up there. To be fair, we had many a good night in the town crier. Some fucking great nights.
I knew Brian quite well. Like, I knew Brian quite well as well.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Him and Leslie, his missus. Oh, they were nice people. You know, he's a good lad.
Yeah, Leslie,
we used to live in Mapleton Road. But you'd know Leslie through Angie, wouldn't you?
Yeah. That's how I knew Brian. Like, yeah. And an invite, because I just bought a guitar. So he's like, we're just jamming. Why don't you come along? Like, we're just like getting together. Like, blah blah blah. That's
luckily my claim. You didn't like jam.
That's my claim to fame. I couldn't play guitar, and I could have been a UB40, but you never know.
But instead, you was getting your UB40.
Well, they were. I was working.
I was going to say, Steve, after we'd finished doing the training, we'd do a pub crawl into town, like. And of course, you know the Earl Grey.
Oh, I used to love the Earl Grey. What a great pub.
Yeah,
proper sort of like West Indian.
And the Firebird.
Yeah, and the fire. Yeah, well, that was it. So you Earl Grey, Firebird,
trees.
Then we'd work our way into the trees, the Lee Tavern, over to the Welly, end up in the is it
Nightingale?
The Sentinel? No. The Sentinels we used to end up. You know the one.
Oh no, Sentinels, yeah.
Stevie Lynex ended up owning that, didn't he?
Who?
Yeah, Stevie Lynex.
Right, stop 1 minute, right? Because I'm going to forget to tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
Firstly, Steve Lynex was going to do a thing last week and he didn't, just because you just said his name, I remembered. But I was just telling Gary earlier, I had a really nice text from Howard Gale today.
Oh, lovely.
He said, Steve, right, really sorry, but I don't use my messenger very often. He just got the text from last week when when we was asking people to do the videos, and I told him Tony Coates and everyone done one. So he just sent a message to say to everyone, like, he's sorry that he didn't do it. He didn't just not respond, which I thought was really nice, and fair play to him. And I hope it all went well. Of course, it went brilliantly in the end, didn't it? But,
absolutely.
And he was good. Howard Gale got many memories of him.
Yeah, one that sticks out in my mind of Howard Gale is winning the Birmingham Senior Cup against the Villa at St Andrews. Ian Andyside's 49th minute rocket, who's sadly not with us now, Ian Andyside.
Yeah.
We beat them 1-0. It weren't a massive crowd. There was about, 12, 15,000 in there, and a smattering of Villa. But the way Howard Gale celebrated that.
Did he put the top? Did he put the top of the cup on his head?
The cup on his head, like it was the
just doing that. Yeah. It was like he'd won the World Cup.
Yeah.
But he was good, Howard Gale. But Howard Gale's claim to fame was, I don't know if I should say, I think so. He had a bit of a fallout with Ron Saunders because he knew his daughter Marie quite well. I knew Marie. Yeah.
But there's quite a few people know Marie. I've got to.
Yeah. She was all right, Marie was, to be fair to her, but I don't know what her social life, her private life was like. But apparently, Howard had a bit of a fallout with Ron about it.
She used to go up the Belfry.
Yeah.
Amongst other places. So, she's well known around Warstock and in that area.
Yeah, but it was like, sort of getting to know the locals, isn't it, really, when your dad's a manager of every club in the fucking Midlands eventually, he did the whole circuit, didn't he, really?
I was going to say, he got Albion relegated and all, didn't he?
Yeah, he did quite well, really. He won the European, but he didn't even win the European Cup, did he? Because he gave it to, what's his name?
Tony Barton.
Tony Barton, yeah.
His lad used to be mates with Carl, with Corty there.
Who's mate? Tony Barton?
Tony Barton's son. I can't remember what his first name was. He just used to call him Villa Bastard. I can't remember.
It's easier.
Yeah.
Slips off the tongue.
Yeah. But so did you know Stevie Lynex from the pub trade, or I suppose he would have got into it later?
No, I don't know him from the pub trade, but I knew him from just a few people that I know. Like Corty knows a lot of people, Yeah. He does, because of his Villa thing. Like he was, I think he still is. Like I forget what his title is, but he went off to do something last week. The same sort of thing. It's like International Supporters Club or something, and it's like everything else, I suppose. When you get in them jobs, you get your fucking free tickets, and you get this, and you get that, and you get a bit of the other. Every club's got them, ain't they? I'm not saying Corty's one of them, by the way, Carl, just in case you watch the podcast. But he does, and he knows a lot of people. And at the end of the day, it's good for him because, especially when he was over here, when Carl first come over here, he had a pub. And whenever any of the Villa players were on holiday in the area, they'd come and see him, like, you know. So it was a draw for the pub, really, you know.
Nice one. Fair play to you. Oh, lost him.
Where you gone, guys? You going to put a log on the fire?
Yeah. 2 actually. It's bloody freezing here.
Yeah, that's the only sort of logging on that Gary knows, Pete.
What's the weather like for you, Steve?
I'll tell you what, it's been an incredible November. It's been, you can see, I mean, we've got no heating in the house at all. We don't have heating, so that's how I'm dressed at the moment. But it drops at night. It's going down to about 14 now at night. But today was 22. And that is unusual for this time of year, to be fair. It is. It's unusually warm. And the summer was mad as well. It was like 42, 43 degrees. So it's quite nice now. But when it gets like that in the summer, it's just horrible, you know. You can't sleep or anything. It's awful.
It's because when the Blues was over there this year, it was an absolute boiler, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, it was great, though. What a great weekend that was. You know, it's a shame he didn't come over, Pete, you know. It's absolutely brilliant.
If that happens again, Steve, like, you know, find us some digs, because I'll definitely come. Like, I'd have some of that, like, you know.
You can stay with me, mate, you know. You come over here, come and bring your missus over for a weekend or something. And you, Pete.
The trouble is, like, she's effluent in Spanish. Like, you know, I'm less than effluent.
It don't matter. It don't matter. I can't even say effluent.
I mean, she is fluent. I'm effluent. That's what I meant.
But the weekend was brilliant, because where I live literally like 10 minutes away from San Pedro, where the game was. Yeah. And so a couple of, like, Shaki and one or two others that I know were staying just up the road here at Campermore, because it's right near Cabaroy Strip, which is like all bars and restaurants. And I live literally over the road from that. So it, like, San Pedro, 15 minutes away, went up there. The bar, because I hadn't been there before myself, and I was thinking they all met in bars first. And we was going up in the car. A mate of mine took us up there. We got there about, I don't know, 5:30. It was a fucking 8 o'clock kickoff or something. And the car park was getting a bit full. And my mate said, "Oh, I want to park now. Like, I don't want to go to the pub first." I was like, "Fuck off. All right." Got out the car, walked in. And I was wondering, what's this bar going to be like? It's going to be shit, you know. But it's a great big open air bar with, like, you know, absolutely amazing. Artificial grass, speakers, screens. It was like fucking brilliant. And there was just loads of Blues fans in there, you know. But a lot of the lads was in the pub just down the road. And then, of course, the more that come back then, I hardly seen any of the game, if I'm honest. I was just in and out of that bar area all afternoon, and then it was the same on the night, you know. We'd come back down there to Cabaroy. Everyone was having a toss. The strip was just full of Blues fans, you know. It was just great. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right. And then, of course, everyone goes home and you're thinking, shit, you know.
Yeah.
So, sorry,
it's on your own doorstep now, isn't it? Like, you know, when you're
I couldn't believe it. You know, that place is closer to me than St Andrews is from when I was home, like, you know.
Yeah.
What's this thing they were on about?
Where I am now, no, Steve.
Pardon?
Sorry, Pete. I'm talking over you. Sorry, mate. Like, where I am now, like, I'm literally an hour and a quarter from the centre of Stroud, where I now live in Gloucestershire, to Birmingham city centre. It's only an hour and a quarter. It's
not bad, is it?
You know, and I want to ask this to Tom Wagner, if he's looking, if he's watching or monitoring. How are you going to make me? See these? All these. How are you going to make me come back for all these season tickets, including that one?
Bloody hell, mate. You got a few there.
All them. And there's more. I've got boxes of them.
You'll be back. Well, we'll find out, won't we? We'll start tonight.
How are you going to prize me out of my seat again after 10 years of ACJET?
There's a lot of people like you,
getting all the positivity, and I'm really, really pleased that they're here. Make me come back.
It's great.
Steve, sorry, man. What was this thing about a fan park?
Yes.
St Andrews.
Yeah, I don't even know what one is, what it entails, where you'd put it, or
Did you ever go to Yeovil?
I've been to Yeovil. I'll send you.
I know, but I mean, say the last time Blues played there, which weren't that long ago, I don't think.
He was throwing bottles the last time he went to Yeovil.
I went. It wasn't me. It was that flipping Martin Cooler bastard. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, well, it's just like a big. They had one at Yeovil, and it was like a massive outdoor tent. And I think they wanted to keep the fans out of the town centre, and you just went in, and it's just a huge tent. It'd be different over here, like, but I don't know how they do it at St Andrews because there's not really the space, is there?
That's where I couldn't get my head round to think, well, where they're thinking of putting that.
And I don't know if that was brought up at all. I don't know because obviously I wasn't there. But I mean, Beck, we can ask Beck and she'll let us know. But or someone will, someone that's watching this, you know, because I don't. The only place I could put it would be like at the back of the main stand, really. Somehow, I don't know how, or by the roost.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was really puzzled about that. But it was interesting with that talk they're on about the how the corporates fully booked and whatever. So it's
tells you a lot, doesn't it?
There's is that the way football is now? It's the way football's going, isn't it?
I think it is, but they still. What I noticed was and this is me being cynical, but I think I'm right about what happened because before the Sheffield Wednesday game, they got that game was priced at $37.50, I think.
Yeah.
Right. So leading up to it, from the Monday, people are saying this is a lot of money, like, you know. And the Cop was on board, the new opening of the Cop. And I think they misjudged it. I think they thought, you know what, the Cop's open, people are going to come, blah, blah, blah. But it lacked planning because, and I fucking give them shit about it, I did on the Thursday and Friday. And what happened on Thursday was, last minute on Thursday night, suddenly, buy this ticket and the next two are 50%. And people going, oh, that's great. Like the club do listen to us and that. And I was like, bullshit. Like, you know, they've just suddenly realised they're going to catch a cold and they're going to try and get some fucking money out. You know, that's what really happened. And I mean, fair play. They did adjust it so that they could get some money out of it. But let's not pretend it was planned because it wasn't. You know, they did it because it wasn't planned and it was panicked. And I think personally, what they should have done was made those tickets for the first, say, 3 home games with the lower Cup open at like 20 quid a piece, fill the ground. And then when people have been in that atmosphere, when the tickets go back to normal, they'll want to be a part of it, you know, because the atmosphere was shit, wasn't it?
It seemed it. It didn't sound like, did it?
But I mean, this whole thing about corporate, I mean, like it's a big earner, isn't it?
Oh, it's where the money is, Pete.
There's a big third for that sort of thing now. You know, you're talking to 3 old men who used to piss up or have the legs pissed over standing under a corrugated iron roof. Like,
I miss that. I think that's sort of become part of something I need.
It was like
there's plenty of sites out there for that kind of thing, Steve.
Huh?
There's plenty of websites out there for that kind of thing.
I think you're right though, Pete, because it is, you know, and it's a huge part of the income. And people now talk about things, you know, they say like, oh, you know, the gates aren't that big, you know, if we go, for instance, if we boycott and we don't, do you know what? The gates aren't even that massive a deal anymore. It's the additional things that are the deal, you know. I mean, particularly in the Premier League, the gates are more important in the Championship, but it's not the do-all and end-all, you know.
And I mean, I see that thing about the closing the Gilmerick upper, which has been open all season. Now that it's sort of like people who enjoyed that view now, I half get it sort of thing. I mean, all them people from a whatever the word is, aesthetic viewpoint. You got cameras pointing at it. Probably better having them people there filling up blue seats rather than empty blue seats. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I think the other thing with that is, to be honest, I think the club are playing a bit clever there, because they don't want to say, listen, we're going to shut the Gilmary Cuppa because we've now got the cup open. We want to get that filled. And the last place. So, in other words, if we have a full house and we're getting shorter tickets, they'll start selling the tickets in the Gilmary Cuppa, because it costs them a fair bit of money to put it on because of stewarding and all that, you know. And also, so what they've said actually is they're closing it to have some work done on it. And apparently the lift isn't very good. The lift keeps breaking down. I don't know. I may be being over cynical, and it may well be being, or they may have closed it and thought, you know what, while it's closed, let's redecorate it, you know, something along those lines.
Yeah, I think it's a very good corporate decision. You know, how many times do you see cameras looking at the upper tiers of any ground?
No, exactly.
The cameras are looking down there, seeing a full St Andrews, allegedly.
Yeah, and it's much, right. We'd rather see those
very cute
1,000 people that are in the Gilmary Cuppa sitting in the cup, wouldn't you? You know, and to be honest, you get a better view. I know you get a great view from up there, but the pitch looks about this big, you know.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, the only thing is, though, I mean, not that we're going to play the Villa anytime soon, unless we draw them in the cup. You're losing the advantage of throwing cups of hot piss over the bastards.
It's true, yeah.
Have you had any feedback from the safe standing bit? Because the bits that I've seen of it, I've never actually stood up in it myself. I thought it would take off more than it has.
Yeah, it doesn't look packed every time, does it?
Oh, no. I mean, the first time it was open a bit was one of them test things against the Albion. I mean, like everyone was all up for it anyway, wasn't they? That day, but ever since, obviously, we've had the difficulty with the Rooney situation. You know, I was thinking about this though. I mean, you know, you go on about a team's identity.
Yeah.
What would you say Blues' identity is?
As a team?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another team that would be like us, that I'd think of would be like us. Probably like a Blackburn or someone like that, who is always like, except Blackburn have got a bit better history, like, but I mean, current time, you know, that sort of mid-table, ain't going to go down, ain't going to go up.
Yeah.
Or, you know, people must have a pretty shit view of us.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is this, all of a sudden, this playing out from the back business, that a lot of people who were brought up on Blues, like we were saying, like, you know, kicking the ball and the player into row Z when you're a defender. It's what you've been sort of, like, say, brought up on. We've had some brilliant defenders, but you know where I'm getting at, sort of thing.
It doesn't matter so much, I don't think, you know, that, like, because I think if we want to become good,
we've got to get.
If we want to become good at football, right, which we're not, you got to drag your ass kicking and screaming into the 21st century, you know. And I think I was saying to Gary earlier that I think what Tom Wagner's done. Did you watch our podcast last night, Pete?
I did. I watched his speech today.
Did you watch the one we did, me and Beck?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I was saying in that what he's done is he's gone, right, what's the most successful way of playing football in the Championship? The high press, more teams winning. Like, what's another thing that wins money, that wins things, having more revenue? What, you know, so you don't have to be an expert at football. All he's done, he's got good business acumen. He's looked over the last 10 years and he's gone, all the things that are most successful, he's going to put into Blues. And then it should work, shouldn't it?
He's lined them all up in a row, hasn't he? He's done the business strategy.
He's got his ducks in a row.
Yeah. You know,
he has, like, you know.
He's lined them up that way. You know, that's, you know, it's perfect common sense, like, you know, fiscal common sense. What is a winning formula? These people are business people.
That's it,
first and foremost. That is what they do. how can this be successful? What are the winning formulas? They've looked through it all, and it makes perfect sense to me now after what we've seen over the last few days. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
we may lose our identity in many ways in what we think we are, and sacrifice that for being a successful football club.
Yeah.
But we'll still always be Blues. We'll still always be Blues because we are the Blues.
Yeah.
First and foremost, all the fans of the Blues. We are the Blues.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Steve. Yeah. Even this thing about player recruitment now, it's all going to be based on stats as opposed to sending a bloke to watch a bloke play, like scouts, what we'd presume. I mean, Barry Fry, good God, he was at a game every single flipping day, weren't he?
Yeah, but he signed everyone.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? I mean, are them days over, having somebody actually watch how someone can play on what's the thing, on a cold, wet night in Stoke, as opposed to what his stats are?
I'll tell you what I think it is, Pete. Now, I'll tell you what I think is different and how it's different is that players aren't picked up in the same way. So you might have gone 20 years ago and watched a non-league game and watch, I don't know, Lee Hughes play for Kidderminster or whoever he played for, right? And your scout would be there and you'd go, like, this lad looks good, like, let's get him down. What happens now is they identify the kids when they're 10 and 11 and 12, and then they look at them, and then they try and get them into their youth system, and then they develop them themselves. You might get the odd one where you see someone who, because you don't get these non-league players coming anymore at 25 and becoming the top scorer and playing for England. It doesn't happen anymore because all these kids are picked up when they're young, and that's the whole thing. And then when you're looking at players, probably they're released by clubs, and I think this is where we're going to be looking at it, like players who are like Junior Dixon, who we got from Palace last year, who Dortmund wanted him, and we beat them to him, and he's banging the goals in now for the under-21s. But we're going to look at players that are probably being released, looking at them and trying to get them, because we don't want to buy players. We want to identify players that are going to fit. And I think they did it in the close season. It's exactly what they did. All those players cost £5 million. And I don't know what their value would be now, but I tell you what, Ethan Laird alone would be worth that.
Oh, and Buchanan, yeah.
And Buchanan. So straight away, the strategy that they're going to plan for long term is working already, and they've only been here 3 months. Those 7 players, I reckon if they cashed them in, they'd probably be worth, probably get 20 million for them, with Dembele, and, look at the players individually. Mayoshi, no one's ever heard of him. He's come from Japan. So they turned 5 million, saying to 20 million. So then they've got a £20 million chest now they can look at and think, well, let's spend 10 million of that.
Yeah.
And when we got them £10 million worth, they might be worth 40 million. That's sort of the way they're going to recruit, I think. And it is done with up to stats and stuff, Pete, because you can't feasibly send scouts out all over the world like that. So they have stats that they look at and think, I'm not saying they wouldn't send someone out to look, but they might look at someone's stats and think, you know what, that's a perfect fit for us. Let's get someone to go and have a look at him, rather than the other way around, where you look at hundreds of players and you might bring one back. It's like in reverse sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the other side of it is, I mean, like everything's all like the agents put someone's hits on YouTube and whatever. I remember there's the bloke Omar Bogle. Remember him? I mean, he still
scored a great goal though, didn't he? I can't remember who it was against. Scored a great goal for us
against Stoke on New Year's Day or Boxing Day or something. Yeah. But he's still playing for Newport now and whatever. But I mean, his highlight reel, I mean, he was playing at Grimsby. You're thinking, hang on, he's a bit of a player here. It can be deceiving sometimes.
But video reels aren't the same as Opta stats. So you know when the players wear all the vests and that, or everything that takes in how fit they are, how they move, and then how often they play, how many tackles they win, how many headers they win. If you looked at Omar Bogle's one of them, you'd probably think, fucking hell, why did we sign him? But if you look at his little videos, them videos are probably the 30 best things he's ever done in his life,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can sort of make a video tell a lie, but you can't lie with statistics because they're there and you look at them and you either accept them or you don't, but they're there. That's what happened, And when you look at it, because you see it on the Blues all the time, don't you? Blues do it now. They put up a player like Ethan Laird and they'll say, most challenges this week out of any defender in the championship, like 10 challenges won, or someone like 15 successful passes made. And to be honest, when I first started seeing that, I thought, fucking 15 successful passes.
Yeah.
I'd expect him to do that in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it isn't like, that is actually good.
It's sports science now, and it's sports science really, rather than.
Oh, it is. The days of someone running on with a watering can are gone.
Yeah, and a sponge. The magic sponge.
The magic watering can, Pete. And you're right. You look like you took a bit of a blow there. Do you want to lock it? Listen, I think we're going to wind this up because the footy's on in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Really enjoyed it tonight, mate.
Yeah, it's been interesting, and I think people enjoy watching it, to be honest, because I don't know, it makes me laugh, so I would hope it makes everyone else laugh. Brightens your night up a little bit, and we've had a good week. I was complaining yesterday about like how much time over the last sort of 7 days we've been pissing about with the Blues and this and that, one thing and another, disabled toilets and the justice and then the open house and all that. But you know what? It's been an absolutely fucking brilliant week, I think. If you can't be proud of our club after this last 7 days, I don't think you ever will be. And we've got a chance now to take it forward, forget John Eustace, lock him away, he's gone,
gone.
Wayne Rooney, get behind him, because if we don't take this chance, we're never going to get it again. I can't see anyone else doing it.
No. If you just cast yourself back 12 months and see what's going. You know what I mean? This can only be positive now.
Yeah.
We need to, as you say, John Eustace is gone. Much as we all like to, it's done.
Like every other manager's gone. They've gone.
Let's get behind the manager now. He's got, as I said last week, he's got all the resources. He's never going to have a better chance. He's got all the support that he needs.
I'll tell you what.
The only people that need to support him more are the supporters.
Definitely.
Get behind him now.
But I'll tell you what, you've had a week off work. There's nothing fucking wrong with you, pal. I'm telling you that now.
I can tell you.
Look at you. You're shouting and you look healthy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if
you're ill.
That's full of rum.
You're not ill. You're pissed.
Rum, hot lemonade, and honey.
Are you pissed about it, Pete? Pete, you're positive now, aren't you, Pete?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you're Blues, ain't you? You just got to keep right on, and I can't wait to sit and freeze me nuts off at the Rotherham game Saturday.
Yeah, well, I unfortunately won't be there, but I'm sure it's going to be. Well, let's hope we get a decent gate, because they're selling these tickets at 50%, aren't they? So I think it's $17.50. I mean, if you can't sell them at $17.50, you're never going to sell them.
No, that's true.
We should have a
go.
And listen, we know that we're going to win tonight, more or less. I'm going to look back on this tomorrow and think, you stupid fucking you never learn, do you? You always think the Blues are going to win.
I'll take 4 points in 2 games. That'll do me.
Yeah. A draw will be fine tonight. I think it'd be a good result.
If you look at Saturday and say possibly 7 points in 3 games, that's not bad.
That's it. If we beat Rotherham, which we should do, hopefully. Yeah. So are we going to do it next Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a Wednesday date?
Yeah, we're saying you and your fucking predictions. Yeah.
We'll look back. We'll look back on this and go, "You poor thing.
Yeah.
You silly boy."
But don't forget, we've seen it all before.
Well, we have, mate. It's been great talking to you two again, like it always is. And we'll keep in touch through the week. And we'll put this podcast on tomorrow, probably. So if not tonight, while I'm watching the game, I might be able to do it. So tonight, keep our fingers crossed. Gaz, hope you feel better, mate.
Yeah, I'm on the mend after that run.
Good. Just one quick thing. You know, you've got your rosette.
Yeah.
Have you got your rattle?
Do you know, I did have a rattle. And I took it to the first game I ever went to in 1967 against Oxford United. And I don't remember bringing it home. I actually don't remember rattling it.
No.
At the time.
You couldn't have one now, of course, because it'd be an offensive weapon.
Well, yeah. But I was 7 years old, and I'll tell you how engaged I was with the game. Somebody had dropped a box of matches on the floor and they was open. And I said, Dad, there's some matches down here. And my dad says to me, he says, there's a match on the pitch, son. Pay attention.
That was my little warning there, 15 minutes. So, Pete, you're all right, mate, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm saying, mate. Yeah, I've just got to rush and get my daughter back. Just doing dance now.
You got 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Big shout out for Manisha and MDA Dance Academy. They are fucking
Manisha and MDA.
Yeah, MDA Dance Academy. They're fucking brilliant, mate. They really are.
I'm sure that all the parents will be impressed with your language, Pete.
Oh yeah.
You could put that on a t-shirt. MDA dance. They're fucking brilliant.
Yeah. When you mentioned the Golden Eagle earlier, Steve, I was just looking through. I've got loads of stuff out the loft, and I was trying to find, because I know I've got some Golden Eagle posters here from gig lists and stuff, which I'll dig out for next time.
All right. You know what I've seen there, don't you? Before we go, Pig Bag.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know Pig Bag, Pete.
One hit wonder. Yeah.
No, far from it.
Yeah, I've got one thing here which I've kept.
You can tell we're getting old. Can't stop talking. Come on.
I don't know if you ever went there.
Yeah,
of course.
Well, it's done. The Damned. I remember. I know Gary used. I know Gary used to pogo. We'll talk about that next week, Gaz, when you was a punk.
I've got some great photos and stuff. We've got some great stuff from.
I sent you some photos, didn't I?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, we better go because I'm sorry. As much as I like talking to you, I'd rather watch the Blues. So, guys, see you next week. Keep in touch. Pete, all the best, mate.
Yeah. Keep right on, lads.
See you later, guys.
All the best to those wonderful dancers of MDA.
All the best, guys. All the best, girls. Enjoy your dance. See ya. Bye.
See ya, mate.
Bye.
Bye.